Hey there everyone, my name's Amanda and I'm an intuitive card reader, a clairsentient, among other things. I'm going to start this reading by just saying this is a collective reading, so please take what messages resonate for you and simply leave the rest. I'm doing this reading, I just felt like called to do it today since, I don't know about y'all, but it just seems like there's a lot of really heavy energy going on lately. We just had the Aquarius full moon, and I feel like this is a really powerful time to release old patterning, release things that aren't serving us anymore, and invite in a new cycle. So hopefully this reading will be helpful in that. I was pulling cards just for myself, and these messages felt relevant for more than just me, so I'm just going to start the overall energy of what's going on right now. I pulled Call, which is the same as the Judgment card in the traditional tarot. Sorry, forgive me. And the Star here. So the Star is interesting that it came up, and it looks like she has this big full moon behind her because, again, the Star card is associated with the astrology of Aquarius, and we just had the Aquarius full moon. So what these cards together are saying to me, first off, we've got two major arcana. So this is huge spiritual lessons going on right now. That's why things might feel really heavy or challenging. I know for me, it's been a very challenging time. But in a good way, receiving it as a gift, realizing that as we clear out the junk, we make way for large blessings. So there's some sort of spiritual call. You could be the catalyst to wake up another person, or you could be ascending further into your spiritual awakening at this time. It just feels like there's some big movement spiritually, so you're integrating a lot of lessons. Keep in mind that can show up as discomfort in your body. It can come out as purging physically, so you might have stomach issues at this time. You might have headaches or have any other types of aches and pains in your body. Recognize that that's totally normal if uncomfortable, and make sure you're doing some energy clearing and also just spending some time in silence and meditation, connecting with your higher self and your higher guidance so that you can try to understand and integrate what is being learned at this time. And what I'm getting from the Star card is that you really have an ability to step into your power and your truth and to be a light for others in this world. So a star shines out through the darkness, and we wish on stars. So this is a star, this is a card about wishes fulfilled. It's about inspiration from above. I think it's also about being a lighthouse and a light in the world around us that can sometimes seem very dark. So if you're experiencing challenge right now, understand that this is empowering you to be an inspiration to others and to help you serve a greater purpose on this earth. So I just wanted to talk about those two cards before I pull anything else. I often like to pull cards directly on camera so you can see that I don't manipulate anything, I just see what comes up. So first I'm going to pull from the traditional Rider Smith Waite Tarot and just see what's coming up as just the general energy right now, what we need to know. And then I'll pull some clarifiers on that as well. Yeah, I've just been getting a lot of messages around really taking care of yourself right now. It's been really, really a challenge. So, okay. I'm getting Justice, Nine of Pentacles, and I'm gonna pull one more. Interesting. Okay. So Justice, Nine of Pentacles, King of Wands. And I'm going to explain and talk about these, but first I'm going to, and I've got Two of Swords. Oh, interesting. Okay. I looked under the deck. I've got Two of Swords, Knight of Cups, the Lovers, under the deck. Interesting. Okay. So we're going to go with that, and I'm going to pull some clarifiers. So, I feel like actually these all go together like this. That's what I'm feeling. Sorry. Now I'm just talking to myself. So let me just pull some from the Energy Oracle, see what other messages we need. Cool. I'm getting the World. Seventh chakra reversed. Envy reversed. Let me pull one more for that last section. Maybe. I like to shuffle till something flies out, because then I feel really sure that it's the message that's for us. Okay. I think that was what we needed from there. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this first and then pull some more oracle cards. But I'm also just going to get a couple messages from the Divine Masculine and Feminine Reunited deck by Christabel Jessica. Just see, I know that I resonate with the twin flame experience and divine partnerships, so if that is you, yeah, this deck is really relevant for that experience, so I'll just pull a couple messages in case that is an experience that you resonate with. Okay, that feels relevant. Yep. Okay, awesome. So we'll talk about all these. So first I want to start here with this Justice, Two of Swords, the World. Interesting to me that Justice is a card of balancing, and that's the major arcana, and this Two of Swords is also kind of about making a decision, gaining clarity to make a choice. Two is also a number of balance, so it seems like something right now is being rebalanced, and I'm seeing the swords on both these cards, so that might feel like a lot of mental conflict right now as things are getting rebalanced. So I would pay attention a lot to your thoughts and how you can hone your thoughts to serve you better. So if you're having a lot of negative thought forms, maybe work with that and try to see what things are actual truth and what things you can let go of and release at this time, especially with this. And to me, that's also what the World is about, the completion of a cycle and starting something new. This depiction of it is a little bit dark, so that might feel a little bit like going through a murky space, feeling a little unclear, feeling like you're going out into unknown territory and not sure how it's going to turn out, and that can be a little scary. But I think Spirit wants you to know that what seems like it's insurmountable at this time is actually a fertile ground for things to become more in balance, more fair, more clear. Because if things have been murky or unclear, I think it is time to be really decisive about what belongs in your life and what doesn't at this time. So what thoughts do you still believe and what thoughts don't you believe anymore, and what needs to get cut out so that you can take this blindfold off, step up, and walk onto the path that's really meant for you. I'm getting this Nine of Pentacles, Knight of Cups with the 7th chakra in reverse. So this feels to me like it's important to focus on your own prosperity and feeling stable within yourself at this time. This woman has cultivated a lot in her life and she stands with a lot of confidence. And 9 is almost to the completion of a cycle. So I think what will bring about this new cycle and new change, and perhaps a new offer of love or an ability to come forward emotionally in a new way. It is you standing in your power that is going to allow the abundance and the emotional fulfillment you're looking for in your life to come towards you. If we're blocking off our creativity or our financial flow, or we're not feeling very powerful or desirable, we block ourselves from really feeling the connection and love that we want. And here it just looks like 7th chakra reverse means that you are probably spirit is trying to reach you and give you some guided steps to move forward into this next chapter, but you're not receiving it for some reason. So that could be that you're closing off your emotional flow. It could be you're feeling unstable or a little anxious, and then it's taking you out of your spiritual center. So focus on getting back into alignment and really asking God, your guides, spirit, the universe, whatever you resonate with. Ask for that support right now. I'm getting the sense like these beings of light, these high beings are really trying to reach you, and we have free will. So if we're choosing not to receive, if we're choosing to close our eyes, if we're choosing to put on this blindfold, then we're not going to be moving forward into our highest potential. And this is really a card of like feeling abundant and prosperous and standing in our highest potential. But I really also feel like we can't get here if we're not willing to come forward emotionally. If we're not willing to open up and really acknowledge the way we feel, then we can't stand in our full power either. So this is kind of the advice section. So we've got King of Wands, the Lovers, with envy in reverse. And just reading this kind of intuitively, it's interesting. I feel like, now the court cards, they have specific genders attached to them, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So I'm talking about masculine versus feminine energy. That has nothing to do with gender, just to put that out there. But it seems like some kind of masculine energy. This is a very passionate energy. So somebody who is fiery, passionate, creative, knows how to create the life they want, decisive, takes action steps. And with the lovers can be about a connection or a romantic partnership. It can also be about just making a choice. So there's some kind of creative choice that needs to be made, and it's important to tune into your heart and your passions and make sure you're making decisions from that place of heart-centeredness is what I'm getting from this. And not from this place of lack, of feeling like envious, looking, because you see on this card, she's looking out at the world like there's so much more out there than what she has, even though she is, wearing all these diamonds, holding all this wealth. She's still looking outside and wishing it was different. So could be that you're not really appreciating what an opportunity you have right in front of you at this time. But since it came in the reverse, I'm getting the sense like somebody is moving out of this energy of feeling lack, of feeling like, well, everyone else has what I want and I'll never have it. We're getting into the place of realizing we have the power to create the life we want. And if we can see it outside of us, that means we can create it within our reality. So I think we're moving, maybe the decision here is moving towards your happiness, and I'm getting moving towards your version of what that means. So sometimes we look out and we're envious of what we see, even though we wouldn't actually want that thing that we're envious of. We wouldn't actually want our life to look the way that other person's life looks. We've just been conditioned to believe that that's what we want. So I think it's time to really evaluate, what do you want? If you could make the choice in your life and have everything that you desire and you trust that you can create it, what would that look like? I think this is a really powerful time for that. And with this call, with this spiritual awakening and this star, this inspiration, you know, to me, that's infinite potential. When you work, when you're in your power as an inspiring being and you're working with spirit, you're completely unstoppable. So just keep that in mind. And these cards here that are coming up, here, let me get them kind of in the order I pulled them. So inner child. Yeah, I'm really feeling this. Like, you see these two people, it's like the connection within them is reaching out for each other, but the two of them in the physical are moving away. And so a lot of times we really wound each other when we're speaking and communicating from a place of pain and wounding, instead of, you know, standing in our current situation. We tend to replay old scenarios with new people if we haven't really looked at our inner child and seen, okay, where have we not been nurtured as children that we're looking for now? What wounds have we received in the past that are getting in the way of us connecting in the present? So it's time to take a real hard look at that and see where you might need some healing. And what may help there is to get in touch with your own essence and energy. Now, this could mean connecting with a guide, a healer, somebody you resonate with who can help you. Could be somebody who does Reiki or soul work or a shaman or things like that. You know, find what works for you and be really discerning about who you share your energy with and who you work with. But you can also do this work on your own. I'm just getting a sense like there really needs to be a bit of an inner journey at this time, really looking at what needs to be released, what needs to be healed from the past, and getting your energy really in alignment for a new cycle to invite in all the blessings that you're looking for. Again, we got this wishes fulfilled card. So, but, you know, the universe wants to give us, God wants to give us everything that we desire. But if we aren't moving towards it, if we're not choosing it, if we're not aligning with it, then it can be really difficult for those things to come through for us. I got the God of Awakening, and when I pulled that, I was like, yes, of course. You know, with this is a card of awakening as well. We're definitely in a period of ascension, of integrating new spiritual knowledge, and this is a masculine aspect. So again, you could be feeling it a lot in your body. You could be processing it in a very masculine way. So you might need to get in your body, get really physical, do some exercise. You might need to scream, cry, yell to get out some of this energy. But you're really receiving a lot of divine information at this time. So pay attention to it. And another message coming through is just that if you're working with a man or a divine masculine, and that's a partner that you have at this time, they are waking up, even if it doesn't seem like it on the outside. Like, they process things a little bit differently than the feminine does. And so sometimes when we look at their process, it doesn't seem like they're taking any steps. But that is so far from the truth. They are receiving information, they're waking up, they're following it. So allow them their process and give them a lot of grace at this time. So I got the Goddess of Love as well. So again, I feel like if this is the polarity that's happening right now between the masculine and feminine, as the masculine awakens, and this is an aspect within ourselves too, just keep that in mind. It's not about this person outside you only. So as the masculine aspect awakens, it requires a lot of love, devotion, nurturing, and kindness from the feminine aspect. So we have to learn to be gentle with our counterpart and also with ourselves as this difficult, as this ascension process happens. We have to be really loving and gentle with ourselves and give each other a lot of grace. That's a partner, but also just the world. As we wake up and see things more and more clearly, we can integrate a lot of things about the world that are very difficult to face, especially as somebody who's sensitive. So always remember, as you open up and see some of the darkness or the difficult things about the world, remember there's always love there as well, and we can always tap into that divine love. And I got the God of Unity, so it seems like this period that might feel quite challenging at the time is setting us up to become more united within ourselves, but also with the world at large, and able to love really, really big. So trust that this unity is happening at this time. If it feels a little uncomfortable, that's okay. You're exactly where you need to be. Okay. So I'm just going to clear some of these out of the way for now and just pull a few more oracle cards. First, I'm going to ask what is coming up right now to be healed and looked at. Let's see if we get inner child again. Oh. Let's just try to take one, though. Sometimes they have a lot of messages. Yeah, I'm just going to see what is coming up for healing for us to look at more deeply right now. And I just want to say, if any of these messages are resonating for you and you would like more clarity on your specific path, I am totally happy to do a reading for you. I can do it remotely. Just shoot me a message or go to my website, which will be linked below. Okay. I'm getting patience. Oh, cool. Okay, and under the deck was courage and love. So really cool. So this is what's coming up to be healed. So let's talk about it. This feels really relevant. So we have to have a lot of patience with this process. Healing doesn't happen overnight, and it can sometimes feel like we're cycling back to places we thought we've already healed. I know I've been going to that place a little bit, but we're always seeing it from a higher and higher perspective, and that healing always goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So we have to have a lot of patience with ourselves. We also have to have a lot of patience with the other people in our lives who are also learning their own lessons and integrating it in their time. So important to remember that it's not in our timing, it's in divine timing, and I think that the powers that be sometimes, actually all the time, know better than we do, even if we don't want to admit that. So be patient with yourself. Give yourself a lot of grace. But this path really requires a lot of courage. It requires us to go into the deep dark places of ourselves and of others, trying to bring this lantern to the world, right? You know, there's this kind of scary lady ready to grab him in the shadow, but he's focused on the light. And that's really the best we can do in this world, is try to bring a light wherever we can and have the courage to do that, because it's not always easy and sometimes it's really painful. So you're doing great, and keep being courageous. I feel like devotion, it's funny, love is coming up here. We got the goddess of love. Like, the devotion that you have to love, showing up consistently from a place of love, is so important. It really, even if your external circumstance doesn't look like how you want, I promise it will, the more consistently you show up from a place of love and kindness. We change the world slowly but powerfully through the energy of love. So that's the message I'm getting from this. So that's what's healing right now, is like our ability to be patient, our ability to be courageous, and our ability to hold down and anchor in that energy of love at all times, no matter what the circumstance. Okay, I'm going to pull a few from the Spirit Oracle. Just get some messages on just where we're at right now. Interesting. Okay, new direction. I'm going to pull one or two more. Opportunity. Okay, that feels good. Let's just get one more. Okay, there's like way too many coming out now. Let's see. Okay, so I've got new direction, opportunity, and guidance, and I'll just read what's on the back. Here, I'll show you the front first. I'm noticing this heart right here again, like staying in that heart-centered place no matter the circumstance. So it says here, life may seem like a whirlwind at the moment. Yes, it does. Yet there's a divine order to the present circumstance. What may appear as chaos is often angelic forces of the universe at work. After the storm clears, you'll be steered in a new direction, a time of renewed health, joy, and abundance. This is kind of like exactly what I was saying at the beginning of this reading is it feels really chaotic right now. It feels like really heavy, but it's clearing the way for a lot of new blessings to come in. So we've also got opportunity. So it says, live in the moment, let go of the past. There's no point worrying about the future. A wonderful opportunity exists for you today. Embrace it. Pretty straightforward. And then guidance. And I feel like this is related to that blocked 7th chakra from the beginning of the reading. So release the past to the eternal winds and allow new energies to enter your life. You're a creation that is vast and endless, with no beginning and no end. Allow your life to flow like a river. The spirit of life will guide you and keep you safe. So again, time to open up to this guidance that's coming for you. And there's just a lot about releasing certain things that just aren't going to serve you in the new cycle, and be open to the new things that are coming your way. Sometimes change and new beginnings can be really scary because we're not used to getting what we want. And we sometimes keep creating cycles of not receiving what we want because of the fear that we have from past situations. So time to clear out some of that past gunk that's getting in your way. Okay, I'm gonna pull a few from this deck. It's the notes from the universe. Sorry, I was throwing some cards over here. We'll just see. These are also pretty straightforward messages, but I like them. Sometimes they just feel really relevant. Okay. Getting you are adored. I'll pull a few more. If they once loved you, they still do. Things are not as they appear. So I'll read the backs of this, but like I said, these are pretty straightforward messages. I'm not going to elaborate too much, but we've got you are adored. So just breathe that energy in for a second. And it says, don't be fooled by the players and don't be fooled by yourself. There is no one more lovable nor loved than you, and I know everyone. Precious, the universe. So, and then I've got, if they once loved you, they still do. So if you've been feeling separate from, this is a message I'm getting. If you've been feeling separate from somebody you love or unable to communicate or not sure if they still love and care about you, they do. Love is something that doesn't end. Love is something that can't be taken away once it's been shared between two people. So just remember that. It says here, thanks for every single time you ever fell in love. Whether or not it was obvious, whether or not it lasted, and whether or not you were loved back, it changed everything. Actually, you're always loved back. You changer the universe. If they once loved you, they still do. I just feel like someone really needs to hear that. This says, things are not as they appear. The lower the price of your love, the higher its value. Wow. Okay, so what this is saying to me is we're being called at this time to give our love freely. Everyone is deserving of it. And so it's not like this exchange. I think we're taught to exchange love. Like, well, if I give you love or if I do something for you, then you'll do something for me. And I think the challenge at this time is to move away from that and trust that every ounce of love that you put out into the world comes back to you tenfold. So if we just walk around throwing love bombs all the time, that's what we're going to receive in our life. We don't have to withhold love. Real, and I'm talking, like, use your discernment. I'm talking real, true, aligned, deep, unconditional love. I'm not talking about surface level, transactional kind of love. So things aren't as they appear. With that message, to me, is saying that perhaps on the outside a certain situation is looking like someone is either isn't receiving your love, or things just on a surface level don't appear great. But it doesn't mean that love isn't being shared and exchanged, and it doesn't mean that really, to me, this is saying something really important is cooking under the surface. So you may not see that result immediately right now, but trust that when you put out an investment in love, it always returns tenfold. That's just what I'm feeling from that. I'm going to get one more message from the Journey of Love Oracle. Oh, and I'm just seeing this message too, so I'm going to share it with you. It says, you'll find what you seek. So if there's something that you've been having a challenge around, or you're not sure if it'll ever come together, you're going to have it. You're going to find what you seek. And this says, if you've ever suddenly found and been loved by someone amazing, awesome, fun, and fantastic, chances are astronomical you will again. If you haven't yet found such a person, chances are astronomical that you will. It's up to you. So take whatever resonates from that message, but I'm definitely feeling like there's a lot of love going around at this time, and there just might be some murkiness that's closing it off from being fully realized at this time. I'm gonna pull, and keep in mind, when I use the term love, I'm not only talking about romantic partnership, though that is definitely, I feel, the most intimate container for love. I'm also talking about familial relationships. I'm talking about friendships, deep soul connection friendships. I'm talking about with your relationship with yourself, because your relationship with yourself should absolutely be unconditionally loving. We have to be able to be compassionate with ourselves in order to be fully compassionate with others. So this isn't a love as far as romantic partnership specific reading. However, I do pick up on those energies a lot. Just use your discernment and listen with your inner voice and take what messages from this really resonate for you. I just want that to be said. Okay, I'm getting Woman of Light, and I feel like there might be another message. Maybe not. Towering Magnificence. Riding the Cosmic Wave. Okay. And these, I'm going to look in the book for the messages. This one I don't really need to read. I feel like this is pretty straightforward. And again, if you've been in challenge or feeling like really tossed around by the energies right now, just ride that wave. You're going to come out on top. You know, it's like that moment where when the wave's right about to crash and you feel like, I'm confused. I don't know which way's up. I'm getting tossed around. But if you can ride that wave and not resist it, then you can see the beauty in the moment right now, and also trust that you're going to get to the other side to some calmer waters. So It's definitely just a time to surrender and release and relax into whatever's going on. But I'm going to read these other two for you. So, Woman of Light, and you can see it from there. It says, "Pure is my joy, my celebration. I know the divine to be eternal. There is no limit to my peace, to my pleasure, as I rise and rise and rise again. Capable am I of receiving the light, of accepting the next level of illumination. I am sacred flesh coming to light. I am the walking temple, the living goddess, she who shines with truth. I come to you now, I'm one with you now. I am the awakened one and the awakener. This oracle brings you guidance that you are to be witness to the presence of an awakened being, either within your own self as a part of your spiritual destiny or in the form of a beloved other. An awakened one is in your midst or soon will be. Receive the blessing that emanates from such a being. For to behold one is a gracious spiritual gift that will lift you to the next step of your path." And what was I talking about this whole time about awakening? I really feel like there's this energy of the feminine aspect coming in. So it says, if you're having trouble discerning the true presence of an awakened teacher in your midst, or even in your own being, remember that nothing is asked from you by such awakened ones but loving devotion so that they may serve the awakening of all living beings. It requires much karmic grace to be granted immediate access to an awakened being, even more to become such a living light. Take delight. So I'm going to read the poem because this is one of my favorites from this deck. It says, "I asked God for a deepening of my love, without realizing that the deeper I was willing to go, the more it involved letting go of any part of myself that wanted to love and still be safe. In surrender to the possible lay the greatest potential for love, at levels before unknown, like a cistern that holds the nectar of life and gives its precious liquid, only to be filled again with nature's flow. Such knowingness is a gift, for if you can embrace the blessing, you can live without question, relaxing and replenishing with each breath, with each kiss, always whole." So take from that what resonates for you, but I find that to be very beautiful. Awesome. And this Towering Magnificence card, it says, "You're entering the presence of the truly great and sublime divinity. It's without form yet exists within all forms. It's humbling and yet asks nothing of you. It just is, and when we encounter it, we're moved beyond words, beyond mind, and into the realms of the heart that we may never have experienced before. It takes a brave soul to meet the towering majesty of divine presence. It can be a terrifying experience as limitations, preconceived notions, and identities crumble in the wake of its light. You're being brought to this place out of love because you are ready. Your soul has been craving connection to something so much larger than itself, to find something worthy to which it can devote itself entirely. This greatness is becoming available to you now. To be witness to the extent of that is helpful, so that you may find the greater purpose of service which your heart craves. You are ready. This oracle brings you comfort that your inner path, your opening up to direct experience of the divine presence, is happening now according to divine timing and grace. This is also confirmation that you're this is also confirmation that you are connecting with your spiritual guidance more consciously now, and that any sense of self that appears to be falling away from you now is because your divinity has outgrown it and a new awareness is taking its place." So that feels really, really relevant. And the poem here says, "Mighty sentinels connecting heaven and earth, wisdom of the ancients waiting for those who listen in the quiet." So I'm going to leave you with that message. I hope that you got something out of this that was helpful. I'm sending you lots of love and light as we walk through this murkiness together, and I'll catch you next time.